Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to the Avatar The Last Airbender Early Access event. Thanks again to Wizards of the Coast for providing me with the Early Access promotional event entry. And without further ado, let's get into the pack one, pick one of the brand new Avatar The Last Airbender set. We've got Hakoda, Selfless Commander here. 3 and a white for a 3/5 Vigilance. You can look at the top card of your library at any time and you can cast ally spells from the top of your library. There are a lot of ally creatures in this set from what I've seen. As you can see in this pack alone, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most of the creatures in this pack are allies, so Hakoda can cast a lot of creatures off the top of your deck, especially if you take them pack one, pick one. Then you can really draft around them and get a bunch of allies in your deck. So pretty happy to start with Hakoda here. See where we go from there. Pick 2, we got a red-white aggro kind of ally build around. Firebending X for X's number of creatures you control, and then for 5 mana create a 1/1 white ally creature. So if you have 5 creatures on board, which is obviously quite a lot, but if you do, you attack with this, you Firebend, which means get 5 red mana that you can only use during combat, but you can use all of that mana on that activated ability. So that seems like a really fun build around that would work great in an ally deck, because a lot of the best ally cards that I've seen so far are the kind of cards that can spit out multiple creatures. So I like the idea of Sun Warriors towards Boros allies here, going really wide. There's also Invasion Submersible, which is a really nice tempo play, kind of bounce spell. The Waterbending mechanic means you can tap your artifacts and creatures to pay for that cost instead of just your lands. So you can tap the Submersible itself to pay for its Waterbend, which is cool. So it's pretty cheap to turn into a creature after you bounce something. But I think those are the best cards. Cat Gator seems kind of sick. There have been a lot of monocolor decks in Sealed, because in Sealed you get your faction pack where it's almost all cards of just like one color. In Draft, I feel like monocolored could be possible as well, thanks to some colorless spells in the set, as well as hybrid mana spells. So if you can go mono black, that Cat Gator card seems pretty incredible. Pick 3. Glider Kids. I really do want to take allies quite highly, and going red-white allies seems fun, so I like taking Glider Kids here, even though it is probably one of the weaker creatures in this pack. I could see It'll Quench Ya being a stronger card just as a counterspell, and like Cruel Administrator here, but they're definitely quite different directions from where we've started. So I'm happy to take the slightly weaker card, go for more synergy. Here's a nice 2 mana 2/2 ally on curve. Compassionate Healer looks perfectly fine. Water Tribe Captain's another card that's good in these go-wide decks with a lot of token production. Get a super wide board, give that whole board +1/+1. That's a lot of damage. So that doesn't look bad either, but I have no 2 mana creatures yet, and you do really want to curve out, so let's grab a 2 mana ally out of this one. Another very strong Signpost uncommon for a different color pair again. Pick number 5. Sprying to me might be the strongest card in this pack. If this card draws you like 2 extra lands, then you're pretty far ahead, so it's worth all the random incidental self-mill. And there's some decks that actually like filling their graveyard. But Earth Kingdom Soldier's like fine top end for anything with a lot of creatures on board, which is what we're going to be doing. Pick 6, there's a red ally. I don't know how many red allies there are, but like to take those pretty highly because we're trying to play red-white and we want pretty much all our creatures to be allies. So we can take Jiang the Deserter, a 2/3 with Firebending 1, exhaust for 3, put a +1/+1 counter, and copy your next lesson this turn. So make sure some of our instants and sorceries are lessons, ideally. Wandering Musicians looks like a fine filler ally for the deck as well, but that's at 4 mana, which is going to be already somewhat of a contested mana cost here. We already have 2 really good 4 mana plays. Pick 7, no more red or white cards here. But there's a blue ally or a green ally to take as a backup plan. Teo really good for like blue-white flyers. And the green one seems more filler. Big creature that keeps getting bigger off its waterbending. It's pretty cute. There's Zuko's Exile for filler late game removal. I'm going to lock in here. I'm going to keep things simple during the early access, during the pre-release, and just kind of force Boros here off of our early picks. We'll just stick to that. rather than trying to figure out what's the strongest, most open color pair when I don't even know what all the cards do yet. That would be pretty difficult to do, so just lock in on Boros here, grab another 2-drop. The cadets are sadly not an ally, but still take them there. And then here's Sandbender's Storm for removal against large creatures later. Or you get a hasty 3/3. Aang's Journey. Filler mana fixing if we find a really powerful kind of bomb rare we want to splash in or something. Okay, ooh, 1 mana ally, you say? 1 mana, 1/1 flyer, make all of our other flyers cheaper. They play really well with Glider Kids, which is a card I'm already going to want to draft pretty highly as another ally for the deck. So I like Momo into Glider Kids as a curve. They're competing with Jet Freedom Fighter, which seems also fantastic for this kind of deck. They're also an ally, and they're a removal spell attached to a creature. So you get to clear out a blocker and get another creature on the board in the same turn. So Jet does seem really nice too. I'm going to go for the Momo though. Go for Momo and Glider Kids style curve outs. And if we're lucky, Jet could wheel because Jet is a somewhat restrictive mana cost. Most of the hybrid mana cards are kind of less restrictive mana cost because it's like, oh, I could play them in a red deck or a white deck, or I could play this in a red deck or a green deck. But when it's like triple red-white, that can be pretty difficult for like a blue-white deck to cast if they're on like a 9-island, 8-plane split. Triple white's kind of a hard cost. Or, you know, like a green-red deck on a 9-forest, 8-mountain split. Either of those strategies, it's a pretty risky mana cost for, so it's not the most likely, but it's possible we could wheel that hybrid card for that reason. Now we take an Aang, the last Airbender. And come on, name set of the set. And an ally. And a flyer to go with Momo. We take those. Here's a 3-mana ally that's also a removal spell on a stick. That also seems pretty perfect for our deck. We don't have a lot of 2-mana creatures yet still, so I like the Poxbearers as well. 2-mana ally, but we'll take the Jailer there and get removal and an ally at the same time. This is 2 allies off of 1 spell. 3 mana for a 2/1 haste ally and a 1/1 ally. Without haste. Seems pretty good. Avatar Enthusiasts also seems good in the deck. Ooh, and Uncle Iroh as well. Double red. A little hard, since we aren't red-green. That's a somewhat restricted mana cost. We are deeper into white than red as well, so we're probably at least 9 plains, 8 mountains, maybe even 10 plains, 7 mountains, where this does get real difficult. Yeah, I'm just going to go for the go wide card, the spit out tokens, and get that wide board state of allies. Pick 5, mediocre removal with Path to Redemption. Why not? This is mediocre removal because there's a couple ways to get around it. You could bounce your own creature and then recast it. So if you have like that blue card that bounces any non-land permanent on the board, or there's the Airbending mechanic where you can exile one of your creatures and then cast it from exile for 2 later. So if they airbend whatever you put the path on, that's also bad. And there's like a sacrifice archetype in like black-white, as you can see from Tolls of War. So they could sacrifice whatever you put that on. Whatever you put this on can also still be tapped to help pay for waterbending abilities. I'm not very high on Path to Redemption, but just don't think there was anything else particularly good for us there. Here's another 2-mana ally. Join the party. Another Sandbender Storm looks okay. Or Fancy Footwork, with how creature heavy we are and how aggressive we are, doesn't look bad. Actually, I think Boomy Bash might be better than a second Sandbender's Storm. Yeah, I'll take that. But still going for the removal there. It's not a Boar Elk Bird Ox ally, it's just a Boar Elk Bird Ox. Sad. Take another path. 2 mana, 2/2 menace. I mean, the worst case scenario being a 2 mana, 2/2 menace is a pretty good stat line. Razor Ring's a solid removal, though. I think I like that better than our Path to Redemptions. But 2 mana, 2/2 menace. It's a stat line. Another filler removal. We could be aggressive enough for the +2/+2 trick. A mythic rare wall. The 0/30. All right, pack 3. Second Momo. Let's get legend ruled, baby. There's also Airbending Lesson and Treetop Freedom Fighters. It's probably better picks, but too bad Momo's adorable. Pack 3, pick 2. I'm quite high on Glider Kids as another ally, and with double Momo now, we're very much in the market for flying allies. That said, Iroh's Demonstration looks like really good flexible removal. But Glider Kids again looks like the perfect creature for this deck, and while some of our non-creature spells are mediocre, we do have a high enough quantity of them to not need more. We would just be improving our non-creatures there. I'd rather improve the creatures with the perfect card for our double Momo. Okay. 3 mana, 3/2 prowess. Whenever Tylee attacks, you may pay 1 and target creature can't block this turn. Okay, that's not that interesting. Here's a hexproof trick. It's also a lesson, which I don't think we actually ended up with anything that cares that much about lessons. Water Tribe Captain's fine, but I don't see myself playing Water Tribe Captain over all of our other 3 mana creatures. That mana slot's really contested, so I'm going to take Enter the Avatar State here, up the lesson count for Jiong here. Another Glider Kids, come on in. Yes, the 3-drop slot is super contested, but with double Momo, some portion of the time, these are actually 2 mana creatures. And then look, now that mana curve looks great if we draw Momo. Kyoshi Warriors looks real good with Sun Warriors and Hakoda. Razor Rings is also quite good, but I'm going to take that 4-drop creature there. How to start a riot. Target creature gains menace, and all of your creatures get +2/+0 till end of turn. If there was a deck that wanted to start a riot, it would potentially be this one. Also, 2 soldiers with Firebending at instant speed off this thing. It's very good with other Firebending cards. We don't have a ton of Firebending. We have like 1 or 2 Firebenders, but the 1 or 2 Firebenders we have like Firebend all over the place. I guess that's Firebending 1. But the Sun Warriors is like the really big Firebender. That's like the cast an instant for free kind of card. I guess it's good with Zuko's Exile. Play that real cheap. I guess this thing's 2 allies and a 3/3. That doesn't really work with Hakoda, though, because it's not technically an ally spell to cast off the top. Triple How to Start a Riot. I mean, I could double cast it off of Zhong. Let's go for it. It's the type of card that is not good very often, and this deck might be go wide enough to actually make it good. So we'll have less opportunities to play a card like that often. 17 creatures for sure. We're at 18 right now. Just got one disciple. This is an 18 ally, sorry, a 16 ally deck. This is our one non-ally. I guess I could just cut that, especially if I'm running triple How to Start a Riot. Yeah, sure, we'll cut that. Instead, keep the 2-drop. 4 non-creature cuts. Sorcery. Just combat trick style finishers is the plan. Just go big with all this. Jump over their nonsense rather than removing it. No interaction, all in, +2/+0 to everybody. They're all lessons for the deserter as well. This is probably the wrong way to build it, but it looks pretty cool and pretty cheesy, and I want to see how well that'll play out in the set, so we'll just see. We'll call it a deck here, hop into gameplay, see how far this one can take us. We're going to continue our streak from our first draft of drawing all monocolored hands somehow, but it's a good opener because we have turn 1 Momo into turn 2 Glider Kids if they don't have a 1-mana removal spell. And the Glider Kids gets to scry looking for that mountain for us. First draw is a Plains, as it would be. Just another red spell, we'll scry that to the bottom. We are on a 9-8 split again, so as close as we can be on the 2 colors again. There's the raucous audience. And Plains number 5. All right, let's hit for 3 and pass. There's the Guru. That is an excellent card. Look at the top 5 for Lesson, Saga, or Shrine. And every time they cast a card of that type, it gets bigger. We are super lucky that they are very unlucky with that Guru. They didn't find any of those card types in the top 5, which usually it's quite easy to find them if you've drafted around the Guru. Because that's a lot of card types. There aren't very many Shrines and Sagas, but there's tons of Lessons in the set. And then, you just draft 1 or 2 Sagas, 1 or 2 Shrines. Should be easy enough to find them on Guru, get your card draw out of them. They've got no flyers here, so despite us not being able to cast too many spells right now, we're still going to be chipping in for damage turn over turn. We already got them to halve their life total at this rate. We get to hit them down to 9 next turn. How does the audience get double green? If they have a creature with power 4 or greater. Okay. Fair enough. Looks like they're removal spell and Glider Kids. Yeah, there they go. So now we're just hitting for 1 a turn. But we drew into an Aang. It's one other target non-land permanent. We could airbend their mana, or we can airbend our warriors to get another 1/1 token. I'm not particularly excited about either of those plays, but we definitely need to play Aang pre-combat to buff Momo. Let's get another 1/1 here. We've got How to Start a Riot in our hand. So just one more creature could be an extra 3 damage on a lethal swing whenever we hit our mountain. There's Hermetic Herbalist, and then Leaves from the Vine. That comes with a food token. Not what we want to see right now. They're a black deck as well. I would love it if they played like a draw 3, lose 3 life or something. Your life total's going in the wrong direction, opponent. Stop healing. Hello, mountain. Okay. We can menace the Kyoshi Warriors. Everybody has 3 power. Block, take 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, block, take 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Or double block, block, take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They have a food token, so they're at essentially 13 here, so it is not lethal either way, but it does hit really, really hard. And we get life gain from Aang. Let's go for it. So this one gets Menace. These all get +2/+0. And there's the concession from our opponent. It is good enough. It's going to put them to like 2 or 3 here after eating the food. But then they'll die to the Flyers the turn after that. So 1-0 heading into game 2. All right, here we are on the play for game number 2. We've done it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have found both colors in an opening hand. No mulligans required. Also, we found the curve out, which is sick. Whee! Get in there, freedom fighters. Yay! Our 2/1 trades into a 2/2 with abilities. That's what I call value. Triple Mountain. There's a War Balloon. If we draw one of our Riots, they're just dead next turn. Unless they play a board wipe. They play like a blocker, and then it's like, okay, Riot, you're dead. So come on, one of the triple Riots, let's go. Get a clue token, they're doing some digging here. Riot, Riot, Riot. No! No lethal this turn, but their list of outs is growing very small at this rate. They're at 4 life. There's an Archers for 1 blocker. That's not enough. That is going to be 2-0 heading into game 3. All right. Okay, back to the monocolored openers. 3 white lands and 3 red spells. That is a multi 6 on this one. Two red lands, 3 red spells, and 2 white spells this time around. We'll keep it and ditch one of the white spells. I don't think I can mull down to 5 here. Ditch the combat tricky one. Hit a plains immediately. You love to see it. I'm so tempted. All right, drop Disciple and pass. They keep Forest, Forest, and miss their 3rd land. Let's get Glider Kids and Scry. Compassionate Healer. I don't hate it, but it's not particularly good here. So I will scry it away. White Lotus Hideout gets them whatever color they need. They will have to play off curve though, so like 3 mana to play a 2 mana card and so on. You have to filter the mana through this, unless they're casting Lessons or Shrines. Walltop Sentries. It's a little annoying. Just use Disciple for a bit. I've got the Riot, so I think I'm gonna go wide. Long Fang. They get a counter every time somebody dies. Yep, well, there's Kyoshi Warriors to go with the right as well. That's good to me. That is the wrong spell. There we go. Kyoshi Warriors. +1/+1 counter on all the other allies. Whenever an ally enters, put a counter on this creature. Block. Block, block. Block, block, block. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Go to 3 life. Off of the riot. Sure. Technically, I could declare the attack and then do it, but I have to cast it before they can declare blocks either way. We'll have to see how great the 1 green mana instants in the set are. How is that 1 mana? Affinity for allies? Jesus. Okay. So yeah, the 1 green mana instants are very great, actually. To wipe the board still, so this is not horrific. Earthbend a 3/3 out. Pass. Glider kids pass. Return the reach blocker from grave. Jail that bash for 4. Tap land for the turn. What kind of food is that? Oh, it's a clue, not a food. It's a coin of some kind. I was just sitting here looking at it. It looks like a fruit slice or a cookie or something. I'm like, what is that? What is that? Probably instant speed removal on the jailer here to try to kill glider kids as well. I mean, we have lethal on board, so we attack in presenting the lethal. And they get back their reach death toucher, and then we blow that up to still hit them for 2 in the sky and try to kill them next turn in the sky. Draw the card. To damage. Lethal. Okay. We will take it. That is... I don't remember the record, but a pretty good record so far. Oh, it's 3-0. All right, 3-0 heading into game 4. Here we are on the draw for game number 4. We've got both of our colors in the hand, but we don't start till turn 3. I will still keep this though, because that has been our biggest issue consistently, is just drawing colors. Professor Zay starts our opponent off. Really good card selection. Discard a card, draw a card every turn. Plays well with several different archetypes in the set. There's cards that care about having a bunch of lessons in your graveyard. This will fill the grave for that. There are cards that care about drawing a second card each turn. That can trigger those cards every turn. A lot of stuff that Professor Zay works well with. They're on blue, black, and red, so they could be playing like the blue, black, red Azula. There's like a rare in that color trio. Just their own freedom fighters. You're not supposed to make a wide board. Can kill their token with Aang. That's nice. Discard the second Professor Zay to the first one, because Legend rule anyway. Go for a draw 3, discard 1 with Waterbending lesson. Ooh. It's a good draw. I could play Hakoda, and I can sack that to give +0/+5 indestructible to the rest of my board at any time. And I have the Yip Yip combat trick as well. They have the 1-mana deal 2 here. That way I don't have to sack Hakoda. There's Firelord Azula as expected. We'll exile her with the Jailer. There's first time flyer. Can Disciple and Jailer and still have Yip Yip up. Block, Yip Yip and gain 5. And there's the concession from our opponent. They are already over it. Just a really good board state there. And we are 4-0 heading into game number 5. Here we are for game number 5 against professional Magic the Gathering player Michael Sigrist, I believe. That's who Siggy is. Awkward opening hands again. Have to mold a 6, and I'm not in love with the 6. But we'll keep it. Over going down to 5. There we go. We hit a mountain immediately, and this is now much better. Doesn't have any of our go wide to go with the riot, but we are still curving out a bunch of creatures just in general to play into it. Another blue-red deck, another Professor Zay. Pass through. Gain my 1 here. Keep Aang on top. Glider kids, keep Aang on top. Lightning strike the glider kids. Discard a card, draw a card. Now they're untapping with 3 lands out. Blue-red deck with like a bunch of counters and cheap burn spells and stuff. Seems like it could be a pretty bad matchup for the how to start a riot here. Because we could just, like, not have enough creatures out. Okay, I don't mind just stalling Zhong for now. Forcing the recast. Drawn to Momo. I can play Momo and another creature in the same turn, so I like that double spell towards the Riot. Dragonfly Swarm is the play. Ward 1, right? Yeah, so I'll have to pay the 1 for this Jailer. Get through that. Swing 5. Scry. Get rid of the 2 mana 2/2. Doesn't fit into our curve here at all. Unless we hit a 5th land, then I could go 3-drop, 2-drop, or 1-drop, 2-drop, 2-drop. Okay, I've got the removal to get the Swarm back, and they play Zhong. Double Riot, okay. I mean, I could give Aang Menace twice, which is cute. I guess with 3 different flyers on this board. Here. That's right, it could do something. But they could also just like go land 5 and have the barrel ready to blow up Aang. I will not have the mana to double Riot in 1 turn. So let's just ditch that land towards a spell. I think we take Aang for Dragonfly Swarm. Trade. Gets their only flyer off of the board. Now they're all in on Jelly. Or if they have like a removal spell lesson off Zhong, we're kind of dead either way. Get to double removal us off 1 card. Their whole board has Menace, and every non-creature spell they cast gives them an ally as well. They're at 13. I can hit for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 damage. It's not enough. Since it's not lethal anyway, I think I'd rather first strike kill some of their blockers here. And then send it in the sky. Well... no, let's just 11 them. Because then the second how to start a riot, unless they kill our entire board, should kill them. So they have to blow up our entire board or die next turn. Because they're at 2. Could be double removal here off of a removal spell lesson. Pick up removal spell lesson. Deal 4 to both the flyers. Do they have 1 mana removal for healer as well? Flying? They do not. That's 5-0 for this deck, and I'm going to go ahead and call it a draft there. I've got about 2 hours left before this event is over entirely, so I have 2 hours left to record 2 more drafts, so we're going to have to cut these next couple drafts off a little bit early. I think 5-0 is more than good enough to say that this was a great little aggro deck here that's more than capable of a potential 7-win run, just completely undefeated so far. That How to Start a Riot being the kind of finisher with a really creature-heavy deck that has a little bit of token production. Still don't think it was like the perfect How to Start a Riot deck. I could see this being even stronger in decks with more copies of Freedom Fighters and Kyoshi Warriors, the like multiple creature card here. The multiple creature token producing cards. And then the Sun Warriors was like really, really cool looking, but we didn't draw it a single time, so that's like my only bummer about cutting it short here. We did get to cast literally every other spell in the deck, but we never got to do Sun Warrior stuff yet. And I think with the way those games played out, I think you could tell the Sun Warriors would have been a pretty nasty top-end finisher there. A lot of games with a lot of creatures on the board, and that's a good mana sink. Even if we don't have any other creatures on board, if we were in like that last matchup where they keep shooting our stuff with 1/4/1 removal, that would be a great way to try to get the last couple points of damage in. Like if we can run them out of removal, then this one card could end up making a lot of creatures over time to make sure that eventually we're wide enough to still get there. So I think Sun Warriors, while we never drew it, is theoretically pretty good for the deck. So yeah, cool stuff. Great draft, but I got to get to recording the next draft before the event is over. So that is going to end today's video. So thanks again to Wizards Coast for providing me with the promotional early access entry, but that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below, and if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. Other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.